All right, boys. Diablo 4. It's in Serious Jeopardy here. So, let's take a look.
No goofing around.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be another Doomer video. So we'll see.
Because it seems to me the last few weeks players are dropping Diablo 4 faster than cupcakes disappearing at a children's birthday party for reasons we could sort of pinpoint and talk about, because there are honestly quite a few. And by the way, please let me know what you all think about.
So we were looking at this, chat. Basically, we took a look at this. We know it's not entirely accurate. I think that's what we came to the conclusion on, because I guess it's using Google Trends as a data source. But over 180 days, there's 3,099,000. So it kind of is like slowly going down here. And it had a low point at 2.7 million on June 11th, and it's kind of like back at like 2.8 million. So as far as trending goes, it's doing pretty good. Daily players sitting around that 2.8 million, 3 million mark. So it hasn't changed much per this website. I know there's a lot of people that say they're quitting, but I think what that means is they're just kind of waiting till the first season. I probably am in that demographic. I've played quite a bit, and I think I've got a feel of like what the game's about and like what I enjoy in it, and I've definitely got my money's worth so far. But I want to wait till season 1, because I feel like the only thing left for me to do is kill Uber Lilith and maybe grind out some uniques that I will never get in my life. But other than that, there's not really much left. So I'm kind of like in this weird purgatory type area, waiting for season 1 and more content and to kind of restart my journey. But I mean, obviously, there's plenty of players still playing, enjoying the game. If I was a developer, I would enjoy, seeing a graph like this. This looks really steady. So let's see what he says
about this in the comment section below, because this is your opportunity to voice your opinion on a platform to a creator that truly gives a shit about hearing from you and is dying to hear all of your thoughts. So hit up that comment section. I'm sure all of you have heard about the seasonal drama that's pretty much splitting the player base in half right now, which I'm not even sure can be called drama, because it's an ARPG game where seasons are pretty much just the basis of content, and a lot of players have been really frightened and taken back by this sort of gameplay style.
Yeah, so when you launch a game like Diablo 4, it's going to entertain a much larger crowd. So many more millions. I mean, PoE has a player base of like, 150 to 300K, like at its highest points. I mean, we're talking a population, 10, 20 times bigger, 25 times bigger, depending on the true numbers, right? Because we don't even know the full numbers, even based off that graph. So when you have a population that large and, they hear the idea of they're going to have to start over, that's a new territory for them. They're used to just doing the same thing, having the same character, and leveling like in a normal RPG. ARPGs are already a sub-niche of a larger genre. So pulling in people with that, like this IP, you're going to attract people that are going to not understand how it plays, even though that's normal. And obviously, the majority of people, even people watching this video, you're out of the ordinary. People that don't understand this aren't watching these videos. They don't,
especially because all the new content that is going to be coming to the game is strictly going to be embedded into the new seasonal realms. This new content also means additional gameplay features, quest lines, battle passes, legendary items, class balance changes, quality of life improvements, and much more.
And that's why I'm really looking forward to the season. The seasons add so much for me. So, I'm not even a PoE Andy. I usually play the seasons, make a character, enjoy a build, and then I'm done till the next season. And that's what the whole thing's about. I even played the Diablo 3 seasons up until the last one here that came out. And every time they add something a little small, something new to try out, which kind of just adds a new flair to the game. And I think with this game, with how much visibility they have, they have to be adding something good to this first season. I'm being cautiously optimistic when I say this, but I think it's going to make a lot of us happy with what comes with the first season, especially if they add on some new story, maybe add on, a different way to grind items or a different level of difficulty, whatever it could be. I think it's going to make a lot of people happy.
Something that I hope personally that is going to relieve the pressure and concerns throughout the community right now is going to be in the next big developer update on July 6th. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think the next month of news and community response to everything going on with Diablo 4 is going to either make or break the game for the next 6 months. I'm personally on my knees at the edge of my bed praying to God every night that the developers have trained and prepared themselves for this doomsday coming, hopefully as well as Chris Farley did at the end of Beverly Hills Ninja, because Zooey...
So for me personally, it won't make or break the game. I'm going to play this game every season regardless for at least the next 10 seasons, even if I play it just for one character, similarly like I do with PoE. But I think he's right in the sense that it's going to make or break it for the casual audience. I think they're going to need to see something cool to really entice them to take part in resetting a character. They have to give something that grabs you and takes you out of the norm of thinking. So they're used to thinking level 1 character, that's the same character you have for the rest of your life, but they're going to have to put something in it that changes the game just enough to entice these types of players to give it a try. Because ultimately that's what these games are about anyways, and everybody that usually plays these games understands that. But the newer population, they need to, put a little treat out for them, give them a little candy, give that boy some candy, something to bite onto.
Mama, I think we're going to have an upset community and fan base if they haven't. I think a lot of mistakes that video...
Have you guys looked at the Reddit, by the way? I mean, there's already people malding on there. Just, I think the people that are happy with the game are playing the game. And I'm happy with the game. I've just played the game a lot. And I think a lot of people are starting to get there. And, it's kind of winding down. But it will get back. Like, the interest will spike once season comes out. I guarantee it.
Video game creators and developers make nowadays is that they're too worried about the future and things coming in 6 to 12 months from now, rather than the issues at hand currently that are upsetting the current player base that are still playing the game right now. Have you guys ever seen that meme of the dog inside of the burning house and the caption is just him saying, "Oh, this is fine"? A perfect example of this was the MMORPG New World. This game had every opportunity to have an incredible future, a successful long-term health with having over 1 million active players.
Don't do it to him, bro.
They just never solved any of the problems that the community was...
They're already dead, bro. Give them a break, man. They're already bleeding.
Stating to the developers for months and months at a time.
To be fair to New World, they've made a lot of improvements, but the thing is like when I played it, I don't know if this experience is the same for everybody else, but once you play a bad game, it's generally stays a bad game to you in your head, even if they fix it. And that sounds so short-sighted of me, I know, but it's I'm never gonna pick that game up again because my first impression was pretty shitty.
And the player base just pretty much said screw it and got up and left faster than audiences who went and saw Brendan Fraser's Monkey Bone in theaters back in 2001. The crazy thing is that as of right now, 1 month into Diablo 4's launch, I'm seeing a very similar pattern with the player base. As a content creator, other than simply sitting at my computer chair on my ass in a diaper complaining all day, I'm able to talk and host servers with thousands of people in them that communicate and speak about the game and how they feel about it at that current time. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We have one half of the community that I talk to that still enjoys the game and are happy and hopeful about it and its future, and to be honest, I am one of those people. But then we easily have the other half of players that feel like anything past level 70 is too much of a grind in the game, and it's...
Let's do it a little experiment, boys. Let's do it. Let's do an experiment. Not even scripted. Let's just take a look. Why 30 plus persons in the subs always trying to mention their age? So let's take a look here. Can we all admit this is a little too long? There's some negativity. So, and here's the thing, these are all healthy criticisms, and I have a lot of healthy criticisms. Let's take a look. Does anyone else just not enjoy Nightmare Dungeons anymore? 400 upvotes. Obviously people agree with them. So, I guess my standing point here is there's people that are upset. And reasonably so. There's a lot of the little tiny things in the game that definitely could drastically improve, but and we've gotten some confirmation that they're improving, but the timeline given for those things is like it's 2 seasons from now. So I can understand the frustration. I am positive about the game. Let me say that again for everybody. I am positive for the game, and I'm very excited for the future of this game. However, I want it to be good so bad that I can sometimes get negative thoughts about it. Does that make sense? Like, you want something to be so good. It's like you set the expectation almost too high, and I think that's what the majority of players do. They're putting the pussy on the pedestal here, and in this case the pussy is Lilith and the pedestal is your face, and you're just setting it too high when in reality you just need to calm down, see what happens.
It's too repetitive and boring, and the game lacks content, or they just feel restricted and controlled too much, so they're just going to either wait until Season 1 or simply just call it quits. My biggest question for the people that are waiting until Season 1 is that, what's really going to change for the overall betterment of the game that's going to keep you playing longer than you are right now?
Well, I've played the game for 250 hours or so, I have a level 85 character, and I also have 2 like level 50, 55. So I've played the game a lot, and if I'm able to even get half of that amount of hourage into a new season, I will be incredibly happy. So I guess to answer your question, like what's going to change for me that's going to improve that experience and keep me playing longer, I mean, it's going to be the seasonal fix. I already enjoy the gameplay. I think the combat is fluid. I think it feels great to play. I love the story. Obviously, the cinematics are there. If they add another cinematic, that's amazing. But when it comes down to it, what matters to me is the gameplay. I play a lot of ARPGs personally, so I'm used to this type of grind. And, if they added something to spice up the items, and fix some of the minor annoyances that come with the end game grind, is, just to spice it up a bit, add more options and things to grind. Because right now, for me personally, it's Hell Tides and Nightmare Dungeons, which it's fine. I did it for a really long time, a lot of hours, more hours than most people would. But that's what's really going to hook me again. Just something to spice it up. Like, it's like you eat a burger once and it's the same thing as another cheeseburger, but when you add jalapenos on it, it's a little spicy, and maybe you try that burger. So doing stuff like that really keeps it interesting for me, and because I already like the burger. In this case, the burger is the game. I like that it's already just a solid game. But if they add some nice toppings on it, like, I'm going to be interested. It'll interest me.
We're going to focus on putting out that fire that is actively happening and killing off the player base one by one every day, or are we just going to say, this is fine, and willingly going to put on that temporary blindfold over our eyes for a couple of weeks because they're showing us some new shiny cosmetics, battle passes, and having us forced once again to level up new characters? I just don't want players to have the expectations and to be let down, because I followed that yellow brick road before with many games in the past, and it honestly left me more stressed out and frustrated with that said.
Yeah, and I mean, I know who he's talking to here. It's really the casual audience that I talked about that doesn't even want to reset their character. So, and here's the sad reality. I don't think there really is much Blizzard can do to capture that audience and retain them. So whenever you make products like this, especially with a famous IP like Diablo, it's going to blow up and be a massive success. But as soon as they get that game time in and they notice the grind and these repetitive functions that are standard in the ARPG space, the casual audience that doesn't understand them didn't sign up for that. So they not saying they didn't get their money's worth by enjoying multiple hours of the game, but it's never going to stay. It's not going to stay 3 million concurrent players all the time. I didn't have that expectation before the game came out, and I still do not have that expectation. These games dwindle over time, and it really becomes a core niche audience to these types of games. I think it'll still be bigger than PoE for sure, because it still entertains a larger ARPG audience than PoE. Because you can classify people as softcore, like super casual, maybe that's the guy on the Diablo Reddit I'm 35 and a dad of 18 kids and I play for 1 hour a week. That's that guy. So he's the large majority. Then you have people, just average people, gamers watching this video right now. Okay, sorry. So basically you have these and then you have the niche audiences that are watching the YouTube videos and really digging in, looking at their build, things like that. And these are the people grinding the game for quite a few days, and then they get their kicks out of it and then they quit. And then you have the hardcore audience, which these are people like the streamer Woodigio and Zizaran, like they're hard grinders. And so that those two core groups there are really gonna what keeps this game going. They're gonna be the people entertaining, like keep playing the seasons and playing multiple hours. But I don't think there's a genuine world where we keep millions and millions of players every single season. And you're going to see a spike every season, but it's always going to have a drop off. I think
game rather than taking the point of a video game to be a bit of a stress reliever and an escape from this psychotic everyday normal life that we all live. Listen, season 1 for Diablo has already been finalized and finished for quite some time now, and it's going to be launched, and nothing is going to change that. But man, you know what would really surprise me and make me want to smack my mammy is if the developer said, hey, you know what, guys? We're going to take the next few weeks to do everything in our power to make sure the game we have is going to be really refined. We're going to add that gem tab and implement it into the game. We're going to add additional storage for every single character because it's an absolute...
Alright, I have to agree with my boy here. I mean, those little annoyances, man, like, I'm not going to simp for Blizzard, like, for sure. Like, 2 seasons to add a gem tab, when I read that, like, I almost shit myself. Like, I almost had to add an ostomy bag to my side for my organs failing. It was so bad. I was like, there's no way you are not able to add just a gem tab. There's no way you're able to improve stash space. There's no way you're able to not add a loot filter. You're like, these are all things you're making up and lying to me about. You have to be able to do it, and if not, that's actually kind of scary in itself.
Absolute atrocity that you can't keep your equipment and legendary aspects in a full loot ARPG experience like this one. And for the cherry on top, we're going to do everything in our power to bring you World Tier 5 as soon as we possibly can because we have listened to the community and realized that level 75 onward is simply copy and pasted mumbo jumbo content and gear that isn't keeping people invested and interested in the game because leaderboards aren't even coming out for another 4 months.
So that I could actually genuinely believe maybe taking a little bit to develop. So what he's talking about here is kind of like maybe like a Torment 2 or like a Tier 5, right? A tier above Torment, something extra like to bridge the gap between, like 75 or 80 to 100 because it's such a long grind from that point. So adding something in there to grind towards and keep you busy during that time is, I think, is crucial because it's such a mountainous gap. You're going from standard dungeons and then the next hardest thing is Uber Lilith, which is like, if you like, let me just draw this for you. Let me just draw this. So here's the game. Difficult. Okay, we got a little bit more difficult. So this is when you actually reach a nightmare difficulty. And then you got Torment. And then here's Uber Lilith. That's Lilith. Lil. That's the difficulty curve. There needs to be something like right here in this range to get you over that hump and keep you interested. And I don't know how long that would take to implement, but I can't imagine it being easy because I'm trying not to simp and be, but I'm trying to also be positive towards Blizzard because I do want it to be a good game. I think they need to add something here. I just don't know if they could do it in a season. The gem tab is what they should have fixed in 1 season. This is what they should have fixed in 2 seasons. This should be their focus. This is what's going to keep people entertained right here.
We're going to take a pause on developing the garbage that people aren't interested in 6 months from now and do everything in our power to keep the player base that we have right now as happy as we can.
Sure.
Sincerely, your favorite android, Bobby Kodak. I'd say all the community is really asking for the developers
or as I call
to
him,
just
Daddy.
not be the dog in the burning house, man. Don't focus on the future. when your player base is on fire and losing numbers by the day. Focus on the major concerns at hand right now, because if you don't, there won't be as large a future as you would like. I still don't understand why it's going to take 2 seasons to implement a gem tab.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like I said, I 100% agree with this. Like, it's not acceptable that it takes 2 seasons to add a gem tab. I don't understand that. Like, I would like, I know a lot of people are quitting from Blizzard right now, but it seems like they allocated a lot of resources to Diablo 4. So the fact that it's taking 2 seasons tells me that now the game's launched, we made our dollar, let's reallocate developers. Like, that's how it honestly feels, and that feels bad.
I also still don't understand why it's going to take 2 seasons to implement leaderboards and ladders in a game that already has this implemented inside of their other previous Diablo games. I'm going to say it once again, by the way, in case anyone is coming in here just skipping the video. I really do enjoy Diablo 4 as a game, and I think it's incredible.
Bro, people skip over my videos all the time. I'll be like, hey, I like the game, and people will be like, hey, fuck this guy, he said the game is dead. And I'll be like, bro, go to like minute 4. I said I like the game, I love the game. I feel this guy's pain here.
And it has amazing potential and a bright future ahead of it. But the biggest issue Blizzard has had over the last 10 years is that they take longer than a grandmother with severe knee pain climbing up my flight of stairs to implement the most simple changes that the community is begging for. Blizzard has mastered, better than anybody out there, at putting that Blizzard polish on any game genre, making it easily accessible to the casual player base.
Blizzard polish is the equivalent to like waking up on Christmas morning and you come down and you see that red shiny bicycle and your little boy balls are just shriveled and happy. You're just so excited. It's such a magical experience, the amount of polish they put on a game. And if they can really, make that exponential in the way they treat the game, like, they could get back to former glory. But I think this is where, like, a whole other topic comes into play with, like, profit margins and Bobby's dick being in the way. But that's for another time.
To get them to enjoy a game for a set amount of time. Their biggest problem, however, has always been keeping them there. I will tip my hat to the Diablo 4 developers because I honestly do think they have good intentions for the game, and I'm really hoping they're going to do the right thing and shock the world with this game and listen to the player base. They've played it super safe with everything involved in the game so far, and Diablo 4 pretty much is just a repolish of Diablo 2 and 3, combining them together, and honestly, the game works, and what it does well, it does.
Yeah, this game feels like the true Diablo 3, if I'm being honest. Diablo 3 felt like another game with the same IP, but it just felt like a different game. I enjoyed Diablo 3. I know that's a hot take for a lot of people, but I enjoyed it. I got my hours of play. I didn't play as much as I do PoE, but I did enjoy it. It was fun just getting in there, crashing some mobs, and getting out. I played it on the Switch a lot, so it was good to kick back and play. But this game truly feels like a Diablo game. It feels like the true Diablo 3, and I think that's why so many people are very critical of it and want it to succeed.
Does incredibly well. I love the game, and I think it's only going to get better with time. Let's just, please God, diminish the amount of player-based casualties as much as we can by solving the problems at hand right now. Please God, don't monkey bone me. Give me the Brendan Fraser movie in Diablo 4 I know it can be. I want the Mummy, not Monkey Bone.
Bro.
Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section.
The Mummy 1 and 2, goated films. Whatever that Mummy was, where they went to, like, Asia, I don't even know what that was.
Because
Trash.
I would love to hear back from you guys. Anyways.
I don't even care if people disagree with me. I thought that movie was trash.
By the way, we also want to take a moment to shout out our channel members over here on YouTube because you all are the #1 supporters of the Comeback Kids, and we absolutely could not keep this channel going without you all. The giveaway for our channel members this month of July is going to be the brand new Razer Kraken V3 HyperSense headset, worth over $130. So if you all are interested in earning exclusive rewards for the Comeback Kids personally, as well as the opportunity of being offered giveaways constantly, click that join button below the video or hit that link in the description to become an official Comeback Kid today and show some support. I know it's a little bit of a rant, but that's all for today. I love you all. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good video. He has a good opinion, and I think the focus of this is talking to... Because like me, I want as many people to play the game as possible because it makes trading more fun, which, by the way, there's a hidden trade chat, which is kind of weird. But I'm getting off topic. he wants the game to succeed. I want the game to succeed, and I think he's talking to the casual audiences and obviously the people that play this game a lot. Like, they want little annoyances addressed and to show that they're really listening to the community. And I feel like, I know this is going to be a weird, like, maybe a debated topic, but I feel like they've listened in this game more than they have in recent releases. But if you really think about it, when is the last time we've seen Blizzard communicate this much with the community? Even if the time frames are a little wonky. I mean, I'm the consumer, so I don't really care. Like, I just want a good game. I want it now, right? I mean, we paid for the game. We deserve to be greedy about it. But I am going to take the W in the fact that they have been communicating a lot more than I've seen in the past. I hope that trend continues, and I hope that they do these types of changes. I mean, if they sped up the gem thing, that'd be a massive W. Oh my god, it would be such a massive W. Just to show, it's like a good faith showing. So, good video. I'm going to link it to you guys and give it a like. I'm actually going to subscribe to this guy. He's a pretty good content creator. I like the way he speaks. So, good vid.